Okay, morning video. This is weird, but so I put this out this morning or yesterday. Yesterday evening. I said the open interest is at 6450, 6400. I expect lower, and this is kind of the picture I'm looking for in price. So I got a couple questions. What makes you expect it's going lower? Um, about the news candle, how to mark the demand, and then about open interest. So um, this is such a good question, and there's so many things, so we're going to go over it. This is that same picture on the hourly. So right now, if this broke lower, this would be the supply I'm going to short from. So right now, it's kind of forming up how we wanted. That's what I'm looking for. I need this low to break. I need these buyers to break. So I'm going to delete this chart, remove all drawings, and we're just going to talk about it. So first off, open interest. If you look up, just Google vol to vol expected range. It's on the CME. It'll bring up something like this. You'll click your product, equity, S&P 500. Here are your expirations. I use the day of expiration, but also the longer term contracts for like the longer term idea. But most day trading stuff will be based on the day of. And then you have intraday volume here, which is cool to look at. But what I care about is OI, open interest. This is where I'm looking at what stands out. 6450, 6400. Now 6375. This is a new one that wasn't there. That's the biggest level, so that might be where the market wants to head. Now this isn't like it reaches that level and you take a trade. No, this is just a confluence with our price action. All right, this is this hourly picture. I took off the drawings, so we're gonna go back before this new spike. So we had this like down range or this downswing in our market, right? Just like every downswing in our market, I'm looking where the sellers are. We don't know this is until like we start moving up a little bit here and start breaking demand. Now we're looking at this range. So now I need to look at untested sellers that are on the top half of our range. So you might be looking here, right? Okay, but these sellers are a test of these sellers, right? So I don't expect this level to hold. Where's our next sellers? Well, our next sellers are just about here, okay? So that's what I was looking at. If we bring up Discord, I said this the other day. Hang on, let me find it real quick. I said I wanted to see price come down to 450 and I would buy back up to 750. So this is our 750 area. So what's important about this and the picture why I think we're going lower today is this is where we expected the sellers, okay? And we reacted off them, okay? Now, okay, if we break higher, that changes the story, but we reacted directly where we thought the sellers were. Now we move forward. This is yesterday's price action. We start moving down, start pushing down. At this point, where do we think the sellers are? Well, our next sellers are right here, right? Oops. So price is down here. If we find buyers, and this demand somewhere, where do we expect to go? These sellers here. Now, just like this back here, I want to see what price does. If we go through it, that's bullish, okay? Move forward a tad, and what do you know? Once again, we just react exactly where we thought the sellers were. If we're reacting exactly where we thought the sellers were, it doesn't matter how strong these candles are. I mean, the sellers are in the market. So I believe currently the sellers are in the market. This news event here, another reason why I think we're going lower, is this news event was based off of Trump. I forgot even what it was. I don't know. He said like the war is over and everyone freaked out. Okay. So these buyers down here now, these buyers were the buyers that thought the war was over. Okay. Obviously, that's not true. So do we expect these buyers to be there still? I do not, right? So those are the big reasons, the reactions from where we believe sellers were, who produced these buyers and why, it was because of good war news, but that's not necessarily true. So sellers are holding, the buyers, these buyers don't make sense, and also open interest is lower down at 450, 400. That's where the market is looking. Like I said, right now, what does price need to do? We're forming that. I need to see this break the low right here, which will then form supply on this candle. And I will sell this area, looking for the 400s, 450. Well, that's pretty close to 400s probably. Yeah. Other question was, whenever there's a news candle like that, how do you market for supply and demand? Just the same way we do. You know, the imbalance of orders came down here and we just took off. So at the end of the day, once we found sellers, this has been our expectation for the last few days. And that's why I said 65.25, because there was also open interest at 65.25. And the last question is, do you mind explaining what do you mean by open interest? So we went over that. And like was said in the Discord, open interest is just the amount of open positions that are in that price zone. So if I buy, say right here at 6,500, I buy 5 and price goes up and I sell 2, open interest is 3 at 6,500. So it gives us an idea of where the actual open positions are. It's different than volume. Volume tells us how much is transacted at a price. This tells us who's still interested in that price. So I'm looking for just big, I don't overcomplicate it. Show me the 3 biggest bars. Oh, here's the biggest bar, here's the biggest bar, and this is built up here, but last night it wasn't. But I would still be looking lower. We'll see how price reacts, and we can judge it off that. At the end of the day, I can't short until this low is taken out. I hope that made sense why I was thinking short. Reacting precisely off where we thought sellers were, even though we had good news, right? That's a clue. Open interest continually building up shorter, that's a clue. And the reason why these buyers bought isn't no longer valid. So that's another clue. Doesn't mean I'm right. I have no idea what's going to happen. If anybody does, they're lying. We just try to put ourselves at the best prices. Hope that helped.